There we go. Behind good behavior. We're going to go to a whiteboard. And one of my favorite images is sort of a teeter-totter. So we'll draw this sort of a funny teeter-totter here. Get a board. Let's make the board brown. Okay, then let's draw a couple arrows. So it can go up and down, right? Teeter-totter, go up and down, right?
Yep.
Go back to another, and we can go like that. Okay, so there's different ways to see this. Let's do one more arrow right there. And maybe one more arrow here. Okay, so on one side of your craving balance would be the main two minerals. You guys remember there's three main antagonistic and complementary minerals. Anybody remember what those are? That balance each other all the time, and the fast food places play off on it.
Magnesium, calcium.
And
Okay, good. So magnesium is Mg, right?
Yep.
Mg. Okay. Okay, and then calcium is on the other side of the equation, right?
Yep.
So we go Ca is calcium. Okay, those are two. They're balancing each other. So when you get too much calcium, you crave magnesium-rich foods, and you get too much magnesium, you crave calcium-rich foods. Okay, what's the other one? That's the on the hair mineral analysis. Hint, hint. It's the vitality ratio.
I think it's calcium phosphorus somehow, but
Yeah, that's actually, that's actually worth putting in. Yeah, the phosphorus is also on this side of the equation. It's not what I was thinking of, but sure, that's definitely over there. Then we would want to do a one of these. Ah, shit. Being red. See, then we can do that shows these ratios here. Okay. Okay, I'm not going to mess with you guys. I'll put it in there now.
There's sodium and potassium, but I don't think that's the vitality ratio.
Yes, it is.
Oh, it is.
okay.
Na is sodium, and K goes on this side, which is potassium. This is the most important ratio in the body, according to the hair mineral analysis people.
Ah,
So that's the ratio. Sodium is generally fruits and vegetables and seaweeds. Sodium heavy is generally your acid forming foods, which are all the high calorie foods. So, so these are the high calorie foods on the sodium side generally. And then on the other side are the fruits, veggies, and seaweeds. These are lower calorie foods generally. So they're alkaline. These are also generally more acidic on this side. These are more acidic foods.
mhm.
These are more alkaline foods. Alkaline forming, excuse me. Forming foods. So when you have too much on one side, the body's going to crave the other. What else can we add into this? Oh, there's zinc and copper too as another ratio, but we won't go into that for this purposes. And so what are the elements of the high acidic foods? The blank ones and the elements? Anybody remember?
Say that again.
The
Acidic
blank
point.
elements, they're all the high calorie foods are composed of these 5 elements. All of life is made of these 5 elements.
The chosen ones.
There you go, very good.
Chosen, yeah.
So these are the chosen ones.
Is zinc on the side of magnesium or is zinc on the side of calcium?
Right.
That's why I'm not putting it in here. I can't remember.
Oh, I see.
It doesn't fit into this context, so we're going to leave it alone. You don't
Okay.
crave copper-rich foods when you get zinc. You don't crave zinc-rich foods when you get too much copper. So it doesn't fit for cravings.
Okay.
We're going to leave it alone. I'm going to save this. Okay, so What they do then is they give you the salty fries on this side over here. They give you the salty fries,
Yeah.
high calorie foods, and then you crave the sweet. But they don't give you the alkaline sweet. They give you the sugar sweet, which is more acid.
Mhm.
So they're tricking your body to think it's getting a high potassium food because refined sugar, I mean, unrefined raw sugar. There's an ulcer remedy in Africa that Shahid told me about yesterday. And it's basically green chilies, believe it or not, unrefined salt, carrot jam made from carrots boiled down, and then raw sugar is added at the end, jaggery, with the high potassium. That's the element. Sugar, raw sugar cane has a lot of potassium in with it. Why is that potassium there? It's an alkaline to buffer the acid of the carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. That's why nature puts the trace elements like potassium and chromium and whatnot in with the high volume calories. So refined sugar, which they put in the Coke, it gives your body a distorted sense of balance. Okay, I got the sweet and the salty. So that's the other part here is this side would be sweets, and this side would be savory or salty.
Yeah.
So see, you crave one, that's what they're playing off on the fast foods, that right there. That balance right there.
Yeah.
So Monica, if you're back to the query then, is fish head broth. So what is it giving you that other things wouldn't, right? Is the query, right?
Right.
So we go to text then and we say, well, first of all, there's EFAs. And then in that, there's DHA and EPA preformed. Flax, EPA, DHA takes at least 15 enzymatic steps. From there, ALA, omega-3. Alpha linoleic acid is an omega-3. So if someone's sick in some way, they need preformed EFAs. And pre-digested fatty acids, which equals raw or easy to absorb, easy to get into cells. And so that's one element, because EPA and DHA, the brain uses, I think, DHA like food. Literally, brain cells are made of like 20% DHA. If your body can't make it from chia and flax and whatnot, then the other thing that the person needs, if they need pre-digested fatty acids, the products then you might want to look at it, standard process is cell vitality. You might want to look at, this is one of my favorites, was that one. Let's see, I'm going to go over here for a second. Fatty acids. Memory banks, okay. They have a pre-digested fatty acid product. It's slipping my mind for some reason. I don't know why, but I'll get it in there. And then inositol is what they often give for degenerate conditions. Why is inositol?
Don't know.
Is it some kind of sugar?
Oh, did you say what it is, or I thought you said why?
Why is inositol used in degenerate conditions?
Oh, why? Okay.
It has to do with the cell membrane. Okay, this is all recorded, so we're going to have to edit through some of this, but the cell membrane is the brain of the cell.
Right.
The nucleus is sort of the memory hard drive of the cell's activities. So inositol is a piece of the lecithin complex. Same thing with choline or phosphatidylserine. They break off this piece of lecithin, and this one piece of inositol acts like a B vitamin in a way, and it's sweet like sugar. So it helps fat digestion, it helps blood sugar balance. It's shown to improve depression and mood issues. And it works really well when the person can't make new cells from the fat they're eating. Because your cell membranes are mostly fat and cholesterol and protein. So you got to have high quality fat, cholesterol, and protein in your diet to make healthy, smart cells. So if you're not getting that, then for me, that was my lifelong craving right there. Was never enough food, but it was never enough vitality in the food. Not the right kind of protein and not the right kinds of fat for my needs. So, oh, there it is. I remember the product now is called Super EFF. Super Essential Fatty Acid Product. There's Super EFF. That's the name of the product from Standard Process. That's a pre-digested fatty acid product. In a very degenerate condition, you'll want to give them the systemic formulas cell products. If they're short in glutathione or something, and you give them G-cell, the systemic formulas line has a cell detox line, and I have a cell detox folder in the cleansing folder in the Google Drive. If I can have it by topic, you go to the cleansing folder and you'll see another subfolder, cellular detoxification. That's where you learn about this stuff in that folder.
Mm.
You know, we'll be going there at some point during this course, and then during the cleanse and the spring cleanse, I'll be going over that too, which is actually a great idea. So it's a long answer because it's an important concept to get is when the craving goes away, it means the need was satisfied. Was it EFAs? Was it protein? You know, we don't know precisely, but we do know that cravings in the evening generally mean not enough food early in the day. That there's like 500 nutrition diet surveys done on this, and people eat too much in the evening. It's well known when they don't get enough early in the day. So these people that skip breakfast and don't start eating till noon or 2 or 3, they're not getting their caloric needs met early. They're running on adrenaline, because that's what, if you don't eat within an hour of getting up, you're running on adrenaline. That's the physiologic fact. If you're running on adrenaline, you're burning your nerves and all your cells out to keep the blood sugar elevated. And then later in the day, the body's making up for lost time. And I can see that. That's why I've got constantly early in the day, it's just calories, sour cream, yogurt. If I can't eat, it's just liquid calories pumping in, because we need that fuel early in the day to fuel the day's activities. And then the other reason for evening cravings that we haven't talked about is parasite activity is highest on the full moon and at night. Whether it's fungal parasites, bacterial parasites, viral parasites, worm parasites. So, you know, there's that element. And if we're tired, then parasitic people take us over when we're tired.
Yeah.
You know, so when we're tired, then it's a sign of you nailed something. It probably wasn't parasite something, because the fish is a very specific EPA, DHA thing. And I'm eating fish 3 days a week, little canned sardines and kippers and whatnot. And noticing, yeah, like Standard Process has that old Prima product too. It's EPA, DHA concentrate. And they make that for a reason. So you just get that stuff right into your brain. Okay, then the final part of this is stop the share on the recording here.
I got a question. Actually, I got.
Let me finish.
Oh.
Just finish the story because this is on a recording. So the final piece is, let's see, I was 30. Jill, I was down in Mexico with Lee, who was running an organic farm in Mexico. This was 2000. I was 35 years old, and I had never, ever had a satisfying meal. Never felt satisfied, always hungry, always sweet cravings afterwards. And then this man and we went to the chicken coop and we got the eggs out of the chicken coop. We went to the bread. He had made a homemade fresh sourdough kamut loaf, freshly made bread from fresh ground flour. We went over to the cheese that was made on site by the workers, fresh cheese from righteous grass-fed cows. We picked our vegetables out of the garden at 8:30 a.m., put those veggies, chopped them up, cooked them a little bit, made scrambled eggs. And yeah, we had butter, sourdough bread, eggs, veggies, and I ate a plate like that. You know, like, here's my hand. It wasn't that much food. And I got through my first course, and normally I would take seconds. I felt satisfied for the first time in my life. And then I thought about that and I went, wow, I'm not hungry anymore and my stomach isn't full. That means the food I've been eating is low chi, low vitality food. How do I know that? Because I just picked the veggies out of the freaking ground. We just got the eggs out of the chicken coop. The cheese was freshly made, you know, it was all fresh, and I'd been eating non-fresh foods. So there's that element too, is, you know, if we need raw and we're eating cooked, we're never going to be satisfied. If we need cooked and we're eating raw, it can work either way, actually. If we can't digest raw, then we need a little bit of cooked to get it in, right? So that's kind of where it ends. And Isabel, do you want this question on recording or off recording?
On recording, but now I have trouble remembering. There was something that you said. Something that you said about.
So generally, when I'm talking on a recording, just write down your question or put your hand up on the little, Jean did it last night. Because
Under reactions.
yeah, and the reactions or whatnot, because if I'm channeling like that and you come in with the question, then it interrupts the flow of what's coming in for me, because it's literally, it's coming out of silence. And so when the noise comes in with the question, then it interrupts that flow. That's why I ask for questions and don't blurt them out, because it interrupts the flow of what's coming in.
So I don't know, it's gone. The one thing what I want to say is, as far as in regards to, so there were two things. One was a question, and the other one I want to say is, as far as I know from Western A Price, they do not recommend making fish broth from salmon. I think it needs to be different kinds of fish, but I don't know if it's white flesh fish or I don't recall that, but I know that there is a clear distinction. But I cannot give you the reasons and I cannot give you the fish. So you might want to do your own research, but it was, what I remember is not to make it from salmon, because that's what I used to do.
That's fascinating though, because I could swear it's in this book, the
Well,
based on it.
I mean, just, you know, make
Yeah.
yourself a note and if you come across it. So, but yeah, I remember that. And
Yeah.
oh, the other thing, Craig, that I wanted to ask you is,
Okay.
so what if you have the opposite circumstance? You basically have adrenal fatigue, but in the it's the other way around, that at the end of the day, you are so tired that just the thought of eating is making you nauseated.
That's a good question.
Well, that's a natural thing, is to have your appetite disappear, because that's the circadian rhythm of the body anyway. The digestion is most active 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. So that's a natural phenomenon, Isabel, to be tired and just be over it and go to bed. Now, sometimes, Isabel, there could be a restoring food for the evening that you might find. Like I've been eating live plants out of my garden, gynostemma, chocolate mint. And I've been going out to the garden and picking leaves, and I get another hour of energy out of it just by, you know, little 3 or 4 or 5 fresh leaves off the plant. Maybe worth trying, but I think it's natural to have the nausea as a sign of sympathetic dominance. I just ran into it with another client, and he just couldn't get over, like, I've never had digestion problems before in my life. And I said, well, that's right. You've accumulated all this stress in your body. You haven't had good outlets. And now the nausea is a sign that your stomach meridian is supposed to go like that, but it's stuck somewhere. you've stomached too much. And so that's a sign, Isabel, that, you know, you've stomached too much emotionally, mentally, physically, and your digestive system's telling you, I can't stomach anymore. That's what the nausea is.
Mhm.
And so you don't want to eat at that point. Or if you do eat, it has to be like something with mint or the phosphate liquid. Phosphorus is the element for the sympathetic nervous system. That's why standard process makes the phosphorus synthetic orthophosphoric acid, phosphate liquid. That will cut out your nausea and could give you some temporary energy. But Isabel, I'm using phosphorus every day, 20 drops in my morning water with salt and magnesium. You might want to consider, all of us might consider having a bottle of phosphate liquid around.
Mhm. And that's from standard process?
Yeah, yeah. It's only like 15, 20 bucks too. Well, with your discount, it's going to be like somewhere around 15, I think. So I always have it on stock. It's always in my stock.
Okay, and the fact that my phos level was high during the blood test has nothing to do with it, right?
You want to look at that. I'm going to turn off this recorder.